The winner is John Wayne. John Wayne was more than just a cowboy on screen. He was a quiet empire builder. While fans admired his grit and gun-slinging roles behind the scenes, he quietly amassed a massive fortune. No, I'm quite happy with it. Maybe I wish I'd have saved a little money, but outside of that it doesn't matter. But I don't know, I'd probably spend it the same way. But the real surprise came after his death. When details of his hidden wealth surfaced, Hollywood was stunned. His legacy wasn't just cinematic, it was financial too. The Duke had built an empire few ever saw coming. Early life. Before John Wayne became a Hollywood legend, he was a small-town boy named Marion Robert Morrison. He was born in Winterset, Iowa in 1907. His family lived a simple life. They worked hard every day to make sure they had what they needed. Life was not easy, but they stuck together and did their best. When Marion was still young, his family decided to move to Glendale, California. That move changed everything for Marion. In Glendale, Marion got a new nickname, Duke. The name came from a big dog. He had an Airedale Terrier named Duke. Marion and his dog were always together. Because of that, people started calling Marion Little Duke and the dog Big Duke. Marion liked the nickname and kept it. From that day on, people called him Duke. It was a name that stuck with him for the rest of his life. As a boy and then a young man, Duke was full of energy. He had a strong body and loved sports. In high school, he played football and was very good at it. His skill on the field made him a star player. And soon he earned a football scholarship to the University of Southern California. This was a big deal and gave him hope for a bright future. He dreamed of becoming a famous athlete. But then life took a sudden turn. One day during a game, Duke got badly hurt. The injury was serious. It ended his football career and changed his path. This was a hard moment for Duke. He had worked so hard to get where he was, and suddenly it was over. Many would have given up, but Duke had a different kind of spirit. Instead of quitting, he looked for a new way to succeed. In 1926, one of Duke's old football coaches helped him find a job in a movie studio. It wasn't an exciting job at first. He worked behind the scenes at Fox Film Corporation. His tasks included moving props and helping where he could. Though the work was small, it gave him a chance to see the world of movies. He even took small roles as an extra in silent films. These were small parts, but they put him in front of the camera. While working at Fox, Duke met a director named John Ford. The two quickly became friends. Ford noticed Duke's strong presence and believed he had something special. Their friendship became very important. John Ford would go on to direct many of the films that made Duke a star. One of Duke's first movie roles was in Mother Machree in 1928. His role was herding geese. It was a tiny part and kind of funny, but it was his first step into the world of movies. For Duke, it was the start of a big journey that would take him from small roles to becoming one of Hollywood's most famous stars. Duke's time working at the movie studio was just the beginning. Soon he would get his first real chance to act. The friendship with John Ford would change his life forever. The struggling years. In the early years of his career, Marion Morrison went through a big change. In 1930, director Raoul Walsh gave him a new name, John Wayne. The studio felt Marion's real name sounded too soft for a tough Western hero. John Wayne had a strong, bold ring to it. It fit the kind of man they wanted him to be on screen. From that day, Marion Morrison became John Wayne. That same year, John Wayne got his first leading role in a movie called The Big Trail. The film was a big project with new camera techniques and large dramatic scenes. The studio hoped it would be a huge hit. But there was a problem. Many theaters could not show the new film format. As a result, the movie did not do well at the box office. It failed to make money, and that slowed down John Wayne's rise. Even though the big trail flopped, John didn't give up. Over the next several years, he acted in many small Western films. These movies had low budgets and simple stories. They weren't big hits, but they gave John steady work and experience. He didn't become famous right away. Instead, he used these years to learn and grow. Film after film, he worked on his craft and began to understand what made a good Western hero. During this time, John started to shape his signature character. He often played men who were brave, honest, and strong. He stood tall, spoke clearly, and moved with quiet confidence. His look and voice became part of his image. People watching felt like his characters were real. These roles helped John develop the style that would make him famous later. John also learned more about the movie business itself. He watched closely how films were made, how directors worked, and how actors were treated. He paid attention to details others might have missed. This knowledge helped him a lot as his career moved forward. Then in 1939, things changed for the better. John Ford, a famous director who had known John for years, gave him a big break. Ford cast him in Stagecoach. John played Ringo Kid, a brave young man on the run. Unlike John's earlier low-budget movies, Stagecoach had strong writing, good directing, and a powerful story. Stagecoach was a hit. People loved the film, and they loved John Wayne in it. This movie was the break John had been waiting for. After years of hard work and struggle, he finally became a real movie star. His slow climb had paid off, and his career was about to take off. From this point on, John Wayne's name was known everywhere. The tough cowboy image he created stayed with him for decades. His early struggles shaped him into the icon we remember today. After years of hard work, John Wayne was finally ready for his big break. His patience and practice were about to pay off. The role that would make him famous was waiting just around the corner. The golden years. After Stagecoach came out in 1939, everything changed for John Wayne. The film got 7 Academy Award nominations and made him a big name in Hollywood. It also started his long friendship and work partnership with director John Ford. From 1939 to 1963, they worked together on many films. This helped John grow as an actor. One early film they did was The Long Voyage Home, where he played a deeper role. It showed that he had real acting skills, not just a strong look. These films helped him build the kind of character people came to love. Brave, strong, and honest. In the late 1940s and through the 50s, John started to act in war films. In 1949, he starred in Sands of Iwo Jima. He played a serious Marine and got his first Academy Award nomination for it. This showed that he could do more than Westerns. He also worked on other films like She Wore a Yellow Ribbon Rio Grande and The Searchers. These stories gave him a chance to show more emotion and depth in his acting. John also used movies to share his beliefs. He cared about his country and had strong views. He wanted to show that through his work. In 1960, he directed and acted in The Alamo. He spent years trying to get the movie made. Later in 1969, he made The Green Berets. It was one of the first big films to support the Vietnam War. These movies mattered a lot to him. They gave him a voice outside of acting. Then came a big moment in his career. In 1969, John Wayne won an Academy Award for True Grit. He played Rooster Cogburn, a rough and tough U.S. Marshal with one eye. This role was different from his usual clean and noble characters. He got to show a fun side, a tired side, and a bold side all at once. People loved it. The award proved that he had real talent and could do more than one kind of role. John Wayne was now a true movie star with many hit films. But even famous actors can make big money mistakes. His trust in the wrong people would soon cost him dearly. The business mistakes. John Wayne made millions from movies. But he also lost a lot of money along the way. Twice in his life, he faced big financial trouble. These mistakes were painful, but they also helped him learn how to protect his money in the future. The first big problem happened in the 1950s. At that time, John trusted a business manager named Bo Roos. Bo handled all the money and made choices for him. John thought Bo was smart and careful, so he let him take full control. But Bo made some very bad decisions. He talked John into investing in a deal in Panama. It looked like a great idea, but it was a scam. John lost $700,000 in that one deal. On top of that, he lost another $1 million in more deals connected to the first one. The money was gone, and John was left with nothing. Even though he was one of the biggest movie stars in the world, he was almost broke. Sadly, the trouble did not stop there. A few years later, John trusted someone else with his money. This time, it was a family member. His oldest daughter's husband, Donald LaCava, offered to help with finances. John trusted him because he was part of the family. But Donald was not good with money either. He made more bad choices. Instead of helping, he made things worse. John had no idea how bad things were until bills started piling up. One of the worst moments came when he got a bill from Saks Fifth Avenue. It was for $3,500. The bill had not been paid. For someone who had worked in so many big movies, not being able to pay a store bill was a huge shock. That was the breaking point for John. After that, he made a big change. He fired the people who caused the problems. He stopped giving full control to others. John began to handle his own money. He read the details, asked the right questions, and paid attention to every deal. He focused on doing movies that paid well and gave him steady work. He stayed away from risky ideas. Slowly, he started to rebuild what he had lost. John became smarter with every step. He learned to protect what he earned. In the end, those hard lessons helped him create real, lasting wealth. Not just for himself, but also for his children and grandchildren. These hard lessons taught John Wayne to be more careful with money. He learned to watch his finances closely and make smarter choices. But even as he got richer, health problems were starting to catch up with him. The secret health battle. In 1956, John Wayne worked on a movie called The Conqueror. The film was made in St. George, Utah. At the time, it seemed like a good place to shoot a desert story. But nearby, the US government had tested nuclear bombs. The wind blew radioactive dust into the area where the cast and crew worked every day. No one knew how dangerous it was back then. More than 200 people worked on that film. Over the years, many of them became very sick. 91 people out of 220 were later diagnosed with cancer. Out of those, 46 people died from the illness. These numbers were much higher than normal. Many believed that working near the nuclear test site played a part in those health problems. John Wayne was one of the people who may have been affected. In 1964, John was told he had lung cancer. He had been a heavy smoker for many years. The news was hard. Doctors had to remove one of his lungs and a few ribs. It was a major surgery. Most people thought he would not survive, but he came back strong. He kept acting in movies and stayed busy with work. Years later, John was hit with more bad news. This time he had stomach cancer. It was another tough battle. Even with the pain, he stayed strong. He began to speak out about cancer. He told people to see their doctors and to take care of their health. He used his story to help others and raise awareness. John Wayne's last movie was The Shootist, released in 1976. In the film, he played a gunfighter who was dying of cancer. It was a quiet and powerful role. At the time, John was fighting cancer in real life too. The role felt very real. Many fans saw it as his way of saying goodbye through film. John died on June 11, 1979. He was 72 years old. His battle with cancer had come to an end. Even though he was sick for many years, he kept working. He stayed strong for his family, his fans, and for himself. John Wayne fought cancer with the same strength he showed in his movies. His battles with illness were kept mostly private from fans. When he died, he left behind more than just film memories. The controversial will. When John Wayne passed away in June of 1979, he left behind more than just movies. He also left behind a fortune. At that time, his estate was worth around $7 million. In today's money, that would be close to $25 million. He had worked for many years, and by the end of his life, he owned several homes, land, and other valuable things. He had properties in Arizona and in Washington state. These places held not only value, but also memories. His will was carefully written to make sure his family was taken care of. He thought about who had been close to him and who had helped him. Some names were expected, others were a surprise. John had 7 children from 2 marriages. Each child received part of his estate. He wanted all of them to have a stable future. Some of them also received personal items that meant a lot to him. His will showed that he cared about each child and wanted them to be secure even after he was gone. John also left something for his first wife. Even though they were no longer together, he set up a trust fund to give her regular payments. This showed that he respected the time they had shared and wanted to support her in some way. He also remembered a few people outside his family. 2 of his longtime secretaries were given gifts of tens of thousands of dollars. These women had worked with him for many years. He trusted them, and they had been by his side through many parts of his life. He made sure they were rewarded, but not everyone was included. His third wife, Pilar Palet, was left out completely. They had already signed a legal agreement that settled their finances. By the time John passed away, they had been living separate lives for years. Because of that agreement, she had no claim to his estate, and her name did not appear in the will. One part of the will surprised many people. John made sure that Donald LaCava, his oldest daughter's husband, would never get any part of the inheritance. Years earlier, Donald had made poor money decisions that caused big problems. John had not forgotten that. He added a clear rule in his will that said Donald could never touch his daughter's share, even if she passed away. That money would stay in the family and go to her children or someone else she chose. John Wayne's will told a strong story. He made sure his children were protected. He thanked people who had stood by him. He also kept out the ones he no longer trusted. The way he wrote his will showed the same strength and care that people had always seen in his movies. It was a final message from a man who had built something big and wanted to keep it safe. John Wayne's will showed he cared about his family's future. He made sure the right people got his money and kept out those who had hurt him. His smart planning would help his family for many years to come. The family legacy. John Wayne left behind more than movies. He built something that helped his family for many years. His planning gave his children and grandchildren a strong future. His name, his work, and his money helped create a legacy that still matters today. John had 7 children. Each one played a part in keeping his memory alive. His oldest son, Michael Wayne, worked in movies like his father. He became a well-known producer and helped protect the family name in Hollywood. Mary, also called Toni Wayne, received a good part of the inheritance. She lived a quiet life, but stayed close to her family. Patrick Wayne also became an actor. He had a long career in films and was proud to follow in his father's steps. Melinda Wayne helped run family matters. She made sure things stayed organized behind the scenes. Issa Wayne helped in the family business. She shared stories about her father and made sure new fans knew who he was. John Ethan Wayne, one of the younger sons, worked to protect the Wayne brand. He also acted in films and later focused on keeping his father's image strong. Marissa Wayne, the youngest daughter, stayed involved in family events and supported the work others were doing. John made smart choices with money too. His first wife, Josephine, got monthly payments from a trust fund. This helped her live a good life. After she passed away, that money went to 4 of their children. This helped them stay strong and secure. The trust fund gave the family steady support and kept the money safe. It was made to last and help future generations. John's grandchildren also gained from all of this. Some of them work in the family business. They helped make choices about the estate and supported the work others were doing, keep things going, and help share his story with new people. The family still owns the estate and earns money from it. Items with John Wayne's name and face are still sold today. Fans all over the world still love his image and buy products with his name. Because John planned well and taught strong values, his family stayed close. They learned from him and took care of what he built. His work gave them more than money. It gave them a name they are proud of. His legacy is still alive today through the people who carry his name and protect everything he worked for. John Wayne's children learned to protect what their father had built. They worked together to keep his name strong and meaningful. Soon, they would turn his legacy into a real business empire. The modern business empire. John Wayne may be gone, but his name is still strong today. His family runs a company called John Wayne Enterprises. Their goal is to keep his memory alive and share his values with new generations. The company works hard to protect his name and image. They make sure anything with his name stands for something good. That means high-quality products, strong values, and respect for what John Wayne believed in. The company likes to focus on things that last. They choose items that stand the test of time instead of following quick trends. They also give back to the community. Helping others has become part of the brand's mission. John Wayne Enterprises has grown into a big business. One part of it is wine. The family created Wayne Family Estate, which makes and sells wine. It is one of their most popular products. They also partnered with Fire and Flavor to make grilling tools and food items. These products fit well with the cowboy style and outdoor life that fans connect with John Wayne. There are also many collectibles and items for fans. People can buy books, hats, clothing, posters, and other keepsakes. Some of these items are new and others are tied to his old movies. Fans love to own a piece of his story. The company also works with publishers to release books about John Wayne's life and career. These books help tell his story in simple and powerful ways. One of the most important parts of his legacy is the John Wayne Cancer Foundation. This was created after his death to help people fighting cancer. John had cancer more than once, and he wanted to make a difference. The foundation gives money to research and supports programs that help patients. It also teaches people how to catch cancer early and take care of their health. Today, John Wayne Enterprises is more than a business. It is a way to keep his memory alive and help others. His family runs it with care and pride. They protect the values he believed in and work hard to make sure his name stands for something good. Continues family's charitable legacy. The Wayne family built a company that honors John's memory and values. They created many ways to share his story with new fans. The ongoing revenue streams. Even though John Wayne passed away many years ago, his name still earns money. His family worked hard to keep his legacy strong. Today, there are many ways the John Wayne name brings in income. These streams help support the family and keep his brand alive for future generations. One of the biggest sources of money comes from his old films. People still watch his classic movies like True Grit, The Searchers, and Stagecoach. These films are shown on television, sold online, and streamed across many platforms. Every time someone buys or watches one of these films, the estate earns money. His movies also reach people in other countries. International deals help the family earn more from global fans who enjoy his work. Merchandise is another important part. Items like shirts, hats, posters, and mugs with his image or famous movie quotes are still popular. Many people buy these products because they like his style or grew up watching his movies. Others buy them as gifts or collectibles. These products help keep his image in stores and online, where new fans can find him. Brand partnerships also help bring in income. The Wayne family chooses products that match John Wayne's values. They want everything with his name to be strong, honest, and high quality. The wine line from Wayne family estates and grilling tools made with fire and flavor are good examples. These items reflect the bold and simple lifestyle that many fans connect with John Wayne. Because the family makes careful choices, the brand stays respected. It speaks to older fans who watched his films years ago, and also to younger people who admire his story. This wide appeal helps the business stay strong across different age groups. Another source of income comes from real estate and investments. Over the years, the family has owned land and homes that grew in value. These properties are managed with care and are part of the estate's long-term plan. The family also has other investments in business funds and stocks. These choices help them build wealth and stay secure. By having many different income streams, the John Wayne brand stays steady. If one area slows down, others keep things going. The money from films products, real estate, and business deals all work together to support the family and the brand. John Wayne's brand makes money in many different ways even today. His films products and business deals all help support his family. But his biggest impact goes far beyond just making money. The cultural impact. John Wayne gave the world more than movies. His name became a symbol of strength, courage, and standing tall through tough times. People saw him as someone who always kept his word and never backed down. Over time, he became a true American icon. His impact is still felt today. He played strong characters in westerns and war films. Many fans saw those roles as a picture of real American values. He stood for freedom, hard work, and bravery. People across the country looked up to him. Even now, many believe John Wayne represents the heart of the American spirit. He helped shape the Western movie style. His slow walk, deep voice, and honest stare became part of film history. He built the Western into a classic movie genre. Younger generations still watch his movies and feel connected to his characters. His image lasts because he stood for something real. In 2007, fans across the country celebrated his 100th birthday. There were big events to honor his legacy. Families came together for chuck-wagon dinners and outdoor concerts. These events brought back the feeling of old Western life. People wore cowboy hats, sang songs from his films, and shared stories about what John Wayne meant to them. There were also auctions where fans bought signed photos, film props, and rare collectibles. Competitions gave people a chance to show their knowledge of his movies and win prizes. His family helped plan these celebrations. They wanted fans to remember John in a fun and meaningful way. One of the strongest parts of John Wayne's legacy is the work through the John Wayne Cancer Foundation. After he passed away, his family started the foundation to honor his final wish. John had fought cancer more than once. He wanted to help others going through the same struggle. The foundation raises money for cancer research and care. It supports events like golf tournaments and film nights. One special series is called Louis and the Duke Classics. These events bring people together to watch John Wayne movies and raise money at the same time. Fans enjoy the films and help support a good cause. Through the foundation, his name brings hope to families fighting cancer. His story reminds people to stay strong. Even after many years, John Wayne continues to help others. His impact goes beyond money or fame. He showed the world what it means to be strong, loyal, and brave. He became part of American history. His name still stands for honesty, hard work, and courage. Through his films, his foundation, and the love of fans, John Wayne's legacy lives on. John Wayne's fortune changed his family's life forever. From humble beginnings to a lasting legacy, his story inspires. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about legendary figures and their hidden lives. Stay connected and never miss an update.